Okay, so in our last video we finished up our discussion of calculating A1 by noticing that YA and YB are both the same in this case, where we're at our starting outer triangle. So we could just substitute in, and we know that YA1 is going to be also the same as these two Y's because it lies on the same line. So we can see that we just substitute in Y for all these values, YA1 and YB, and that, substituting into this formula here, that just gives us Y equals PY plus QY. So from that you should have been able to verify that this is true, which means that in this particular case at least, we know that this formula works. All right, so the next thing though is we need to look at, we're going to look at B1. So in that case, we've gone so far in our triangle from A to B and figured out where A1 is. We need to be able to go from look at B and C and figure out where our B1 is going to be. So let's take a look. And basically the approach is to just translate this problem of finding B1 into a horizontal, the easier problem that we just solved. So how do we do that? Well, if we drop vertical lines from C and from B1, we make these two similar triangles. So and what we want to show, again, we're starting with P plus Q equal 1. What we want to show is that this ratio of this leg or this hypotenuse, right? We want this line segment, the ratio of this line segment to this line segment to be Q to P, right? Well, we know that if the ratio of this line segment to that line segment is Q to P, then the ratio of this line segment to this line segment is also Q to P, right? By similar triangles. So the way we can set this up then is to say, if we look at the line from B1 to B, and the ratio of that line to the line from C to B1, that ratio is going to be the same as the ratio of this little segment, XB minus B1, to XB1 minus X sub C, right? So that's this ratio right here, and that's going to equal Q over P. And then we can just use that to do the same, or very much the same derivation that we did before for X sub A1. And then you can do something very similar for to calculate Y. So that's the basics. And again, convince yourself that it works for Y, and then it should also work for finding C1 and all the subsequent things that we need to find.